been a rough couple years for Dolphins fans, mainly because of the volatility surrounding the franchise and their quarterback. After finishing last season with a winning record, the Miami Dolphins fired their head coach Brian Flores and replaced him with former San Francisco 49ers offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel. With a new coach, plenty of money to spend, and a collection of draft picks, the Dolphins made some big splashes this offseason. They signed left tackle Teron Armstead and traded for wide receiver Tyreek Hill, who they gave a massive extension to. An offensive-minded head coach, an improved offensive line, and a group of weapons for quarterback Tua Tagovailoa should be enough to bring Miami to the postseason for the first time since 2016. However, the Dolphins' strongest suit going into the 2022 season is their defense. The Miami Dolphins' defense was the reason for an 8-1 record down the stretch last season that saw them almost make the postseason. The Dolphins have the fastest collection of skill players in the league. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are legit 4-2 guys, while running back Raheem Mostert ran a 4-3-2, and tight end Mike Gesicki ran a 4-5-2, which puts them in the 92nd percentile of their respective position groups. Rarely do you see this much speed assembled, but there are questions to how those pieces fit together with the strengths and weaknesses of quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and coach Mike McDaniel's system. Tagovailoa has been an RPO specialist since high school. He's thrived on box count reads and isolating single defenders. McDaniel helped coordinate a 49ers offense that focused on two-back outside zone runs and play action. How can McDaniel adapt his system to feature the talent on the Dolphins roster and get the most out of Tagovailoa? The Dolphins have the weapons to pass the ball at a high rate, but McDaniel's philosophy is a strong run game helps maximize the passing game.
Running the football is a team effort. You need to have the opportunities to run it. When you get your opportunities, you need to execute it. So sometimes in given situations, whether a defense does something you're expecting or you plan for it, you have to, and you don't execute something one or two times, and you get behind the chains or you're in second and longs, it kind of builds upon itself, so it's like anything else. It's a rhythm, and when you struggle to get in the rhythm, it sometimes takes a while to get it going, I think.
One would think that defenses will show the Dolphins more two-deep looks to limit explosive plays because of the deep threat Waddle and Hill present. But last season, Tagovailoa was one of the least aggressive quarterbacks, averaging only 7 air yards per pass attempt. It would be ideal for McDaniel if defenses stayed in too high and allowed him to call more runs. Against these types of defenses, Tagovailoa can do what he does best, which is throw underneath and allow Waddle and Hill to create yards after the catch. Defenses may not simply give the Dolphins more too high looks until Tagovailoa shows he can routinely beat them deep. Last season, the Dolphins saw the least amount of two deep coverages of any team. Tagovailoa was far more aggressive in college when he had better protection. If the Dolphins can provide that protection, he may be more willing to throw the ball downfield. His aggression and ability to connect on play-action deep shots will be key. For the Dolphins to become an elite offense, they have to be able to run the ball if a defense plays too deep, and punish them deep when they put an extra defender in the box. They can't do either of those things if the offensive line hasn't improved. Last season, the Dolphins were one of the worst running teams in the league, finishing 29th. They also had the worst pass blocking in the NFL. ESPN's pass block win rate measures whether an offensive lineman executed his job regardless of pressure, ranked Miami as the worst line in the NFL in 2021. The only reason why the Dolphins allowed a lower pressure rate than other NFL teams is because Tagovailoa got rid of the ball before the pressure arrived. They signed Teron Armstead, who's a top 3 tackle when he's healthy, and Connor Williams, who's a quality starter. A good blocking tight end is pivotal to making outside zone schemes work. Tight ends are lined up on the edge where the point of attack for running backs is in this scheme. Gesicki is a downfield threat, but blocking has never been his forte. Last season, the Dolphins used a second tight end, Durham Smythe, as their inline tight end, and had Gesicki line up as a slot receiver or a wing. Smythe isn't as effective as Gesicki as a receiver. He could get open with the aid of play action, however Dolphins receivers should get more of the targets. Free agent Alec Ingold is one of the best young fullbacks in the league. He's a pulverizing lead blocker and an effective receiver out of the backfield. Ingold could be instrumental in keeping Gesicki on the field on run plays. Gesicki may be able to hold up as a blocker with Ingold helping him inside. If Gesicki can be effective on rundowns, he can reap the benefits of mismatches against run-stuffing linebackers and play action. Still, it's hard to imagine Gesicki improving that much at run blocking at this stage of his career. McDaniel will likely try to tailor his offense to Tagovailoa's strengths. But Tagovailoa will need to get better at throwing to the middle of the field because of the openings that play action provides. The Miami offense the past few years specialized in run-pass option, or RPO. While the RPO has received a lot of airtime, the actual mechanics of the play are often misunderstood. Announcers sometimes identify standard play-action passes as RPOs, forgetting the choice element inside the play and how it changes play design and offensive line assignments. An RPO is simply a play where the decision to run or throw the ball is made after the snap. The Miami offense catered to Tagovailoa's elite execution of RPOs. The Dolphins have run more RPOs than any other NFL offense over the past 2 seasons, with more than 15% of Tagovailoa's passing attempts coming out of the RPO concept last year. His success rate and yards per attempt rival elite quarterbacks in RPO situations. Compared to other skills some top quarterbacks have, it's surprisingly modest. Offenses have to be diverse by nature, so quarterbacks specializing in a specific throw or tactic must have a high ceiling on that skill for the offense to lean on it. But the RPO can't be that, because it's a pretty valuable play to keep defenses on their toes. When the Dolphins tried to make the whole offense out of the RPO, defenses began to adjust over time. Under McDaniel, Tagovailoa will enjoy the benefit of an offensive system that we have seen prop up quarterbacks through both the run game and the passing game. Offenses in the McShay-Shanahan coaching tree have turned both Jared Goff and Jimmy Garoppolo into Super Bowl quarterbacks. The play-action element of McDaniel's offense is important. Even when excluding RPO dropbacks, Tagovailoa has extensive experience with play-action concepts. Last year, he ranked 11th in percentage of dropbacks that come from non-RPO play action. Also, many of the skills necessary for good RPO passing are assets in the play action game, from ball handling to quick half-field diagnosis. Tagovailoa might be one of the quickest decision makers in the NFL. He does make his fair share of mistakes going into his 3rd and 4th read and misses out on opportunities, but he's often right when he declines the first read, and he's faster than most other NFL quarterbacks. It won't be about reducing the negative plays, but more about making positive plays really count. Tagovailoa needs to be more comfortable making negative plays and taking chances to ensure his positive plays have an impact. This season, Tagovailoa won't be dealing with coaching chaos, a rotating cast of offensive coordinators, and off-the-field franchise turmoil. Mike McDaniel replaced Brian Flores as the Dolphins head coach this offseason, but the club retained defensive coordinator Josh Boyer, hoping that keeping continuity can build upon the strong end to the previous campaign. The Dolphins' defense returns a trove of talented players, including quarterbacks Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, edge rushers Jalen Phillips and Melvin Ingram, defensive tackle Christian Wilkins, linebacker Jerome Baker, and safeties Brandon Jones and Javon Holland. After allowing 29 points per game, 406 yards per game, and recording an average of 1.5 sacks per game through the first 8 weeks, the Dolphins' defense gave up just 15 points per game, 277 yards per game, and averaged 4 sacks in the final 9 games. The Dolphins' secondary is the 5th best in football, behind only Baltimore, Tampa Bay, Cleveland, and Green Bay. This may not be the most complete secondary in the NFL, but the Dolphins have some game changers. No player has more interceptions than Xavier Howard's 27 since he entered the NFL. He's not even the most impactful player in Miami's secondary anymore, after 2021 rookie Javon Holland started his career like a house on fire. The second rounder was already the 3rd highest graded safety in the league last season. The Dolphins also have 2 of the top 25 interior defensive linemen in the league, Christian Wilkins and Zach Sealer. Christian Wilkins was widely regarded as one of the best run defenders at his position last season. Zach Sealer is one of the Dolphins' most underrated players, and last season had a PFF rating in the top 10 for all interior defensive linemen. For the Dolphins to become an elite team, they have to be able to run the ball. McDaniel is an intelligent coach, but we haven't seen what he can do away from Shanahan and the 49ers offense. The Dolphins front office has assembled a talented and speedy assortment of players, but there are questions as to how they'll fit together. There's a happy medium where all their stars can have their strengths accentuated, but it's not as natural as we think it would be. The quarterback quality in the AFC is arguably the best it's ever been, and the AFC East plays a central role in that. The Bills' Josh Allen is among the favorites to win MVP this season. The Patriots' Mac Jones last season was runner-up for Offensive Rookie of the Year, while Jets quarterback Zach Wilson had sex with his mom's friend. Tagovailoa has been hampered by his environment, but his own issues are also holding him back, which is the reason that McDaniel is going to run a quarterback-friendly offense that will take advantage of Tua's strengths, which is short to intermediate range accuracy targets. The Dolphins need to rely on their defense to stay competitive in the AFC East, while using a run-first approach and allowing Tagovailoa time to develop in a system catered to his strengths. So can the Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa be elite in 2022? We'll see. Thanks for watching the video. Leave a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you want. And stay tuned for the next one. Later.